My name is D-Man the Great, and I am not the fastest man alive. But today, I'm here to talk about the fastest man alive, and I'm here to tell you what exactly you need to know before Crisis on Infinite Earths and why this event has come upon us so fast. And with the help of my friends at Star Labs, I'm gonna give you this work, because I am not the Flash. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, our story here begins in Season 2 of the hit television series Arrow, as Barry Allen is introduced, and we also get a bunch of backstory and exposition on him as he mentions how his parents were murdered and why he investigates in the paranormal and oddly different cases. Because what happened 15 years ago in this storyline, or it would be about 20 years ago now, almost, where Barry Allen, the Flash, his mother was murdered at the hands of Yellow Streak, who was later revealed to be the Reverse Flash. Now, when the Reverse Flash did this actually wasn't the original timeline of the series, or this is our timeline on the series, but it wasn't the original timeline, because the Flash didn't really become the Flash until 2020, and right now Crisis on Infinite Earths is happening in late 2019. So his story is kicked off 6 years earlier and possibly changed for good. As well as that, we experienced the first few seasons of the Flash, and the Flash tempers with time just a little bit. He picks around with time a little bit, and we see different events happen, such as the incident with him going back in time in episode 15, season 1 of The Flash. And then we have the incident of Flashpoint that happened a few seasons ago that changed a lot of the story and a lot of the future outcomes of characters, such as Oliver Queen, as Oliver Queen became not a part of the future necessarily, because in Legends of Tomorrow season 1, episode 6, we experienced the alternate reality of 2040 where John Diggle's son was an oppositional character. He was the new Green Arrow, and they teamed up to face against the Deathstrokes in 2040. And this being a different reality also changed everything as well, because the timeline was broken numerous times by the Legends of Tomorrow from the CW show DC's Legends of Tomorrow. They broke time several times, and then we had the different occasions where we ended up because the Flash messed up time here, this led to a change here and a change there. Because the reason why I mentioned Oliver Queen so much here is because in season 1, episode 22 of The Flash, we all remember the Reverse Flash was taunting Firestorm, Flash, and Arrow, talking about how, hey, well, they say that you lasted until 70-something, Oliver, in the history books, was what the Reverse Flash said. I guess they were wrong, because he's like, oh, I'm about to kill you anyway. But we saw that happen, and then the timeline was quickly changed to something else later on down the line. And now with Crisis coming, it came upon us because the Reverse Flash was captured sometime in the decades of 2030 something and things like that. But the Reverse Flash was captured and was kept in a box because of the Cicada's dagger and things of the sort. And then Team Flash had to defeat Cicada, and which they never did in the original timeline. And by defeating Cicada, they destroyed Cicada's dagger, which was holding the Reverse Flash, which caused the Reverse Flash to break out of his prison. And then that, in change, destroyed the timeline that Nora was a part of. And she was erased from time, because the Flash's daughter came upon us a couple years ago during Crisis on Earth X. And then she helped out the Flash for about a year, and then she was erased from the timeline due to the shenanigans of her and the Reverse Flash. And now we end up in the situation where, with Nora gone, the timeline for Crisis on Infinite Earths has been moved from 2040 to 2019. Because as you see, the original Crisis was supposed to be in 2024. They had set that date a long time ago. In the first season of The Flash, they had the newspaper article that the Reverse Flash had that let him know that the timeline was still intact. And now, with that being done and that being gone, we have to deal with Crisis 5 years earlier than expected. And that's as well as the Flash becoming the Flash 6 years earlier than expected. Because the particle accelerator's explosion happened in 2014 due to the Reverse Flash being stuck in our timeline after going back to kill Barry's mother. So we ended up with a 5 years earlier timeline, and a lot of people have died earlier than expected in the timeline. And now we deal with the Crisis 5 years sooner than expected. So now the reality we face for the Flash is this season was, oh, I'm going to die in this crisis, and he has to get Team Flash ready for it, and that's what has been this entire season so far, and them dealing with that, and then the emotions being on 9 on 10, because it's like, hey, we were here for so long, fighting stuff for so long, and then now we just found out we have like 3 months, or 2 more months with our friend here. Because that's when they found out, oh, it's 2019. The Crisis wasn't until 2024. We didn't have to worry about this for another 5 years. But now it's telling us that in 2 months he's going to die. So now we end up in the case where Barry Allen has to accept his death, and just as Oliver Queen had to accept his on Arrow this season, with all the shenanigans influenced by the Monitor. And as of now, from what we saw in the latest episode of Supergirl, that with the trials that he's given to Martian Manhunter, the trials that he's given to Barry Allen, and the Nash Wells searching for the Monitor trying to kill him, actually revealed that Nash Wells had something to do later on, and then he revealed himself to Nash Wells. And then we saw as well as everybody's went through their own turmoil in having to make the decision and having to realize whether or not they had to die. And so now, when Crisis comes on Sunday, we have numerous Flashes that may go away, numerous Flashes that may die. We have the Arrow possibly die. We have Arrow dying possibly. We have Martian Manhunter being in something. We might have the death probability on these shows is really high right now. But like I've said before in the Arrow video, is that with this Crisis here, the stakes aren't very high for me, because you can't kill off a lot of these characters on these shows, man. Because I'd be heavily nervous if it wasn't confirmed for us to have the rest of this season for the Flash to go, and then we have the rest of Legends to go, the rest of Supergirl to go, the rest of Batwoman to go. So Batwoman's not gonna get killed off. She can't kill. And then so we have a bunch of non-essential characters that show has been over. We have characters that shows have been over for 30 years, 10 years, all this stuff going on now. Because we got Smallville's Clark Kent, and then we have Brandon Routh Superman, who might get killed off. We have Batman Kevin Conroy, the animated series voice actor Batman. He might get killed off. We have the return of Lex Luthor, and it's like, if you brought back Lex Luthor to Supergirl, why would you kill him off again? And you can't kill off any major characters on the Flash. You can't kill off Cisco, you can't kill off Caitlin, you can't kill off Iris, you can't kill off Joe, really. So you can't kill off any of those guys. You can kill off a few of the Arrow castmates, but you can't kill actually you can kill a lot of the Arrow castmates now, because it's like, well, the timeline on their show has just been changed significantly due to the events that just have happened. So, but we do know that we're going to have a show with Mia, Oliver Queen's daughter, and the Canaries, So those three are ruled out as not dying in the crossover, and anybody that's not going to appear in the crossover. So now we're stuck. So we have to see what happens next. And I'm going to do a little bit of studying on who people think is going to die in this new crisis. I'm expecting to see the Reverse Flash a little bit in this new crisis, and I'm expecting to see generally a few villains from the past, I think, because I don't know if they're just going to be sitting around, standing around fighting air for this entire thing, but we'll see what happens. The crisis starts on Sunday and it's Friday as I'm saying this, so we have 2 more days, and hopefully no one loses their minds over this on Sunday, but hopefully it goes down and it goes down good, but we'll see. And I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later, probably on a basketball video or one more video before Crisis.